is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for the free-for-all variant of Street Fighter. So if you haven't seen Devin and I's discussion on Street Fighter for the 1v1, definitely go check that out. Here we will be talking a little bit, because Josh wasn't here, for the discussion on his thoughts on the game, but mainly our thoughts on the free-for-all and how they manage that. So, let's get out of the way. Josh, what do you think of the game?
This game's really fun.
Yeah.
Superb. I'm not gonna lie, my hopes were not high. Just because I was like, how the fuck are you gonna translate Street Fighter into a board game? But it works really, really well. Yeah, like it. Like it a lot.
Awesome. So, the free-for-all, which is kind of what they were going for. Like, they wanted this to be a 2 to 6 player game, with tons of different modes. So Josh, you don't know, but they have different variants. They have a 3-on-3. They have classic arcade where it is just the line to where there's no movement around the map. You just go back and forth.
Sweet.
Traditional Street Fighter. They have tag team. They have power-up mode where there's power-up tokens that you can land on that it can give you an extra die or an extra action or stuff like that.
That's pretty sweet.
Free-for-all, and then team mode. So, and then of course just regular, 1v1. So a lot of different modes. And with a game that's like this, it was going to be curious as to how they manage free-for-all. And I specifically wanted to do this as a 3-player game because 3 is usually a bad number for free-for-all.
Right.
There's very few games that are competitive that I think can work well at 3, especially if they're head-to-head like this.
Yeah.
Smash Up being one of them is always best at 3. But very few, someone just gets ganged up on it and it's like there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, we kind of saw that towards the end.
So, with that being said, how do you think they did for free-for-all?
Well, I like their original system. I like the the dice, and the gathering of defense, because originally that really helped us kind of change targets a lot. But then when supers and ultras completely just negate that, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that.
Right.
I mean, when you get 2 ultras on you right off the bat. So yeah, it's I don't know, and I don't know how they fix it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you still want your supers to feel badass.
Yeah.
I mean, and I wasn't drawing any events to defend
right.
myself, so... And in that last round, I barely got any, and I didn't use any for utility, so I just got fucking wrecked.
Yeah, the way... It's either they worded it poorly, or that was their intent, that if you're getting attacked a lot, you just defend a lot. Like, okay, I'm blocking. Okay, that's 2. Oh, I'm blocking again. Now it's 3, 4, 5. It's just going to keep racking up. Because there was a time where he had the most health, but he had like 4 or 5 defense, and you're just like, okay, I'm going to go after Seth. Even though I had less health, it's like, it made sense, like what you said. But then you're right, yeah, you either do a super, which the wording on super and ultras say they can only defend with boost cards. So then you translate that against what the guard token gives you, then it's like, I guess if I was attacked 5 times, I guess I don't get my 5 defense dice because you happen to pop an ultra on me.
Right. And then you clean someone out early game.
Yeah. Granted, I will say kind of a small counter to that is it does take a while to get ultras, and it does take a little, and you can see how much meter they have. But it just so happened in that particular moment that Josh had his, and then I immediately had mine.
Right. I mean, there's not a lot of escape in this game.
That is true.
Yeah,
the arena
true.
is incredibly small.
Yeah.
And I know that was their intention, but there's nothing really tactically I can do to avoid it.
Exactly.
When I am, like, the chosen target.
Yeah.
I will preface, I only chose you because my range sucks. And I couldn't have made it to him and done an ultra.
Well, the interesting thing of what we did, because what we did different than when Devin and I just played 1v1, we did the variant where if your deck runs out, that's the round timer. And in that moment, one of us would get knocked out before someone's deck ran out. So that made rounds last a lot longer. And then here, we have the timer, which brought an interesting mechanic where having someone's health matters. Like, I was at 16 or something, you were at 20, and you were at 23 or something. And it's like, oh, well, there's only 8 minutes left. So I'm going to target you to get your health lower than mine.
Right.
So I can try and have the most by the end of the round. Which is interesting. That's an interesting idea. It definitely feels like a video game whenever you are trying to bait and stall out the clock.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they did the best they could with a free-for-all.
I don't think free-for-all's awful. It definitely needs a mitigation for an odd number if you're being targeted by more than one other player with an ultra or a super at the same time. Maybe instead of
Well, you can never do a super and an ultra. Oh, if someone does a super and
Well,
someone
it's like
does
short
an
of the supers and ultras, it's fine. We were
Yeah.
bouncing back and forth between each other.
right?
It kept even. It's just when you get ganked by a double ultra,
Mm-hmm.
when you still had no wins under your belt, so you're a complete non-threat. I'm being an asshole. I'm being a salty asshole. No. But yeah, when you get double super, there's nothing you can do about it. Which,
Right.
I mean, it's very unlikely that it occurs. Otherwise, I do feel like it's still pretty balanced.
Yeah, but it still can. It still can happen, which might rub some people the wrong way. There are definite mechanics in games, so I'm just like, the fact that something can happen still bothers me. So yeah, I mean, it could easily be maybe, I don't know how you would fix it. Like, you can house rule it to where you only get the defense dice. If you have the guard token, you can't boost it against an ultra, but that would be weird too. Like, at least you get two dice.
I mean, I don't really see a way around it.
Right.
That's just.
Because also at the end of the day, you could roll shit on your ultra. We saw it in our run through.
Yeah.
Dhalsim's ultras
Yeah.
just wet noodled.
and
Here
like
you-
I had that 5 dicer that
Yeah.
I got fucking 3 meter.
Yeah.
On-
After you EX it.
After I
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but then your ultra that you got off, you did 9 damage.
Mhm.
and I negated 6 only because I held 3 cards.
Right. So I mean, I definitely think that in a free for all for a game like this, it's definitely better than nothing. Like otherwise, yeah, one person's just like, what's stopping us from just targeting the guy with the most health? You know,
Yeah.
or the one who packs the hardest punch, or who has the range. Let's both close in on him.
Yeah.
Zangief is fucking slow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and here's why I like it, because if the guard dice are only useful if they choose to block. Like, it's not like, oh, I get to counter and I get my defense dice, you know. So I do like that, because either they just keep blocking and it's like, okay, I get my default 2, but if you combo, they're still only getting their 2, because it basically says after the combo action resolves, then okay, now you get an extra die. And so it takes a while for it to stack, and it potentially can go up to where your default dice is just 8 if you are still constantly being attacked, but the player has to decide to block at the same time. And as we've seen in multiple games, no one's too keen on blocking. They always want to try and counter, because it's that good risk reward.
It's that super tasty.
I got it
You
once.
cancel that whole attack.
Right? You just cancel and then just, oh, I'm going to do 2 damage to you. Oh, I'm going to throw you.
Yeah.
So, what I did like was that more people on the map made spatial awareness matter. Like, if you were sandwiched and you were getting charged into, or you were getting thrown, you can collide, and it's like, okay, I mean, Josh, as Zangief, probably tanked a max of 5 damage on both you and I, just keep pushing you into me, or vice versa. So I like that.
Say, the game is tactically wise. It's thought out, other than like cover, but it's a fighting game, so cover's not really there.
There shouldn't be cover, right? They give you enough with movement that it can matter, but it most likely won't.
Yeah. Like, it took my whole turn to get up, or 2
Right.
of my actions to get up here.
And that's what we started doing. Like, I would like do an attack that knocked you back, and I'd knock you back to him, then I'd run away. To kind of be like, to bait him into attacking you. And if he wants to come after me, then he has to run to me. So I think they do a pretty good job with the movement. Yes, you're not going to ever be out of someone's reach. There is not a ranged character like Dhalsim that can just stay back the entire fight and just keep punching. If he wants to do that, he has to spend actions to move himself to gain that range. But for close-up fighters like Balrog or Zangief, you closing that distance is not out of the question.
Yeah.
So I think they did a good job there. Out of the three fighters going with wrestling, mixed martial arts, and boxing, I mean, it feels like Balrog was kind of the wet fart.
I had one combo
Yeah,
the whole
one
time.
combo, yeah.
They do not want to fucking Link. He's got a lot of singular attacks.
You have a lot of cancels.
The cancels are nice.
Yeah.
That's like
But
that's what boxing. It's like dancing around your opponent,
Mm-hmm.
making them bait and
Yeah.
switch and all that.
He deals a decent amount of damage and cancels out counterattacks. So then it's like, okay, well this attack's going through no matter what.
Zangief's combos just hit like a fucking tank.
Yeah.
I had that one fucking.
At the beginning.
Yeah, Zangief is pretty rough. I think you have to fight him a little bit different. I don't know. There's a guy who wanted me to tell him what I thought on Zangief. I don't know if I can fairly answer that because we played in a free for all. Like I didn't think he was that bad, but
It's
I
not a
also
1v1.
I wasn't just soloing him.
Mhm.
And as for DJ, I thought he was pretty well balanced. He didn't hit hard, but he had pretty decent combos that would hit you because he had his mixed martial arts. You're just like, oh, you're 2 spaces away. That's a projectile. Nope, strike. Nope, special. Oh, it's gonna knock you back and chain into a projectile. So he was pretty interesting, but he didn't hit that hard. I think.
He comboed very easily.
Yeah. He has one card, which is a super that has a 4, but the rest are all 2s. He does not have that much in terms of damage.
Zangief, his lightest attack is a 2, but he's got 2 4s. One is a special, and the other one's an event that is his super.
Oh, gotcha.
And then the ultra, of course, is 5. He just hits hard.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know this discussion isn't going to be super long, just because
Or robust.
Devin and I clearly talked at length about what our thoughts on the game were. But I can probably say, would you guys say that this is a variant that is worth playing?
It's a good time.
Or,
I mean,
because there are some games where it's like, no, this is a 2-player game. You know, it says 4, no, it's 2.
I definitely would say this is probably better with more people, and they do have the tag team variant. It's probably better with 2 teams instead of a free-for-all.
Because what they do is for the stage setup, is if it's 1v1, then you start in the red spots, and then the rest are placed around these
Okay.
spots.
I assume blue is teams.
Yeah, or multiplayer. Actually, the rules for free-for-all is you have to be at least 3 spaces away from each other. That's why obviously you're there and then you're in the middle. But yeah, I mean, I think it could easily be great. Now, it still is long. I think that, I don't know, I really don't feel the round, the best out of 3, in a free-for-all.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Because if you had won, then we had to play one more round.
Right.
Because of the tiebreaker.
And it comes down to a sudden death, and it's like, ugh.
No, I'm like a free for all. No, that's gross.
Yeah, I think in free-for-all you should just do the winner, go till someone's deck runs out, or till both people are knocked out. And then the 1v1 do the timer with the 25-minute rounds. I think that fits a lot better than
Time!
Yeah. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you guys give the free-for-all?
I'll give it an 7.
7 or 8?
I'm kind of in that range.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad, but yeah, I mean, you can never. When there's 3 people on the board, it's difficult.
From experience, mini quality, card quality, efficiency and rules, mechanics, even though these are like little cardboard, they're still nice.
It's still 3D. They could have been standees.
I'll give it an 8.
An 8? Yeah, I'm there at an 8 as well for free-for-all. I think it could have been bad. It could have been way worse.
It's utter dog shit.
Yeah. It would have been like, man, this is a 1v1 game.
Hey, guess what? Balrog here. Eat all of the obstacles.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, because Devin and I gave the 1v1 a 9. So it does go down by 1 for the free-for-all, But it is a very valid option if you want to. If you have multiple people over, it plays up to 6.
Yeah.
6 would be crazy.
6 would be insane.
And
imagine all of the collisions.
Mhm.
I don't know if like the 25-minute timer's not going to go very far.
No,
You guys
that
aren't going to get much done. Everyone will attack once.
exactly. Yeah. I definitely think that you do the deck runs out or something. I mean,
Just
the
a
game.
single round.
Yeah, 1 round.
Mhm.
Just do 1 round in free for all. And the 1v1, do the timer. I think that fits a little bit better. But that's our thoughts on the free for all variant for Street Fighter. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.